Live from News Radio 920 studios with Pete Fretwell, and we have a guest in our studio this morning who actually, supposedly, according to the Canadian government, her Indian tribe has been declared extinct. But she is fighting to get the recognition back that her tribal members deserve. Her name is Yvonne Swan. She joins us now. Good morning, Yvonne.
Good morning.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Arrow Lakes tribe? And you said roughly you can't tell us about how many numbers there are, but where is the tribe from? Where did you originate from?
We identify ourselves as the Sinixt Arrow Lakes Nation, and we originated in southeastern British Columbia. Our people migrated north and south according to the seasons along the Kettle Falls area, and it's difficult to count the numbers because many people are not recognized in any tribe. There are many people who live in Canada that were assimilated into other areas, reserves, and registered. Those are the terms that the Canadian government uses to count Native people.
By your count, Yvonne, how many Arrow Lake tribe members are there?
I would say thousands.
Thousands?
Yes, because we go according to tradition. We identify with the not the blood degree quantum as the so-called tribal systems today count the people, but by ancestral lineage, by your people. We don't count the blood quantum. It's the descendants.
So the elders of your tribe can say roughly who the descendants might be and can figure that out?
They remember.
Why does the Canadian government say you no longer exist? How did that start and why?
Well, it was to control the land, the remaining lands that they identified as the last, quote, Indian lands in Canada.
Where were
British
these
Columbia.
lands?
Around, you follow the Columbia River north up to, you'll find the Arrow Lakes region. And around the Arrow Lakes is my original territory. And we didn't know this, that we were declared extinct until in the mid-'80s when our elders sent a group of our people up there to investigate some of the goings-on regarding our ceremonies. And they found then that there was a plaque in Edgewood, BC that says the Arrow Lakes people are extinct. And they brought word to us, and we organized that. Plus, we learned that some of our ancestral remains were put in a museum.
Unearthed from their burial places?
So that they could proceed with development.
It must be strange to wake up and read your own obituary and know that it's not true. What do you, when you approach the Canadian government and say, hold it, this isn't factual, this isn't right?
Well, it's very difficult because they don't want to acknowledge you. They want to deal with the established elected system. And we're putting together a history. I brought with me some pictures here. I don't think I have time to show you, but just to tell you that since we are declared extinct, we want to show, that we are a distinct nation of people with a good, strong tribal way of life. We have never abandoned our territory. We have never forgotten our ways. We were always told that we were Arrow Lakes.
If you have questions for Yvonne, we'd love to hear from you on KXLY Morning and KXLY News Radio 920. 326-9200 is the number to call. You can ask Yvonne directly.
Yvonne, you had mentioned, I think, before that some members of the Colville Indian Nation have been mislabeled. They really are descendants of Arrow Lakes. Is that true?
Some of our people are enrolled with the Colville Confederated Tribes. I myself am, as was my mother. And there are some that are not recognized at all, nor are they deemed eligible to be enrolled in any tribe in this country, although some of them may be full-blood, one-eighth of maybe 8 nations, and they are not deemed eligible to be counted. So that you look at the numbers, the statistics, you have to look at it from our standard,
Now, some of your tribal remains, ancestors' bones, were actually put in museums. I understand you got those back, but now you have nothing to do with them. You have no place to put them.
Well, there is a site in Valleycan Community, north of KXLY, BC, about 30 kilometers, and that is an ancient, one of the oldest burial sites. And that is where in 1980 archaeologists found some remains. The government moved them to the Provincial Museum in Vancouver Island, I think. And we found out about it, and we tried every diplomatic way to get the remains returned so that we could put them back into Mother Earth at Vatican, BC.
How many remains are we talking about?
There were
how many
six,
people?
six ancestral remains, six people.
Now, were these leaders of the tribe or members of a family?
It's an ancient, old burial site, so we didn't know. We know traditionally what I'm not able to speak to that. Our elders could speak to that.
Yvonne, if you would mind picking up those headphones there, we have some phone calls, and you can hear them on the headphones. Darren, thanks for calling KXLY. Good morning. You're on with Yvonne Swan.
Thank you. I didn't even know if I would get through, but I just wanted to say, Yvonne, that I think it's very important for you to keep every new generation interested in their lineage, and I think ancestors are a big part of that. And since a lot of the Indians were basically thinned out as they mixed with others, people started thinking only that you had to be 50%, you had to be 25%. But I think it's very important for the younger kids now to say, I have a little bit. I don't have a lot, but I am still proud of it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. That's really encouraging.
Well said. Robin's on. Thanks for calling KXLY's morning show.
Good morning.
With Yvonne Swan.
Good morning. I lived in the Cusp for some time, and I'd always heard that the Arrow Lakes had been named by the Indians because one area where they shot the arrows into the sides of the cliffs. I wondered if you knew anything about that naming of the Arrow Lakes there.
Thank you. That's what I heard, too. I don't know. I can only guess that maybe they were target practicing.
Did your parents
as they went
ever tell
along
you?
in the canoes?
No,
my mother, when my mother was, she died recently. She was 82, but she remembers fishing at Kettle Falls, not in Canada, but my grandfather did. And there are elders. But that's one story, and I don't know where it originated from. There's so much to learn about our people, yeah. We want the chance to be able to do it and to share and educate.
We have time for one more call? All right, let's go on to Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for calling.
Hi. I'm wondering why there is such a problem to bury your people, since your people were there before any of us.
I'm sure you've heard this before.
The reality for me is that there's a lot to learn from the Native American heritage. And the American people, we fight and fight and fight to learn more and more and more. But in the same sense, we're fighting to keep other people underneath wraps, and I don't think that's fair. I hope that you're able to do what you need to do in order to get your people recognized, because I love the Native American heritage.
Thank you.
That's great.
Lisa.
Thanks
very
for that.
much.
Yeah. How does that make you feel to hear that?
That feels so good. I'm very, very pleased. It's not so important to us to be recognized by any established government or corporation or whatever in this country. What is important to us is to be recognized by other indigenous nations first, and then we can start building and encourage and share indigenous nations.
Yvonne, thank you. Obvious from the
Thank
phone
you very
calls, a
much.
lot of people support you and care about what you're facing.
Good
Thanks
luck
for
to
joining
you.
us.
We have a benefit this weekend.
All right.
That is
if I
right.
may.
It's a benefit.
Saturday at 4 p.m. during the OMAC Stampede, we are going to have an event at the OMAC Auditorium. And there will be many performances by Indian people of different nations, including Floyd Westerman, who played on Dances with Wolves, and Jim Boyd, who is a local musician. He's a popular musician who is also Arrow Lakes.
And this will all benefit your quest for recognition. This is all for that.
Yes,
Okay.
we are trying to build our community.
All
Thanks,
right. Well,
Yvonne.
good luck to you, Yvonne. Thanks for
you.
joining us.
A super show is in town when we come back on KXLY Morning. Meet Jesus and Mary from Jesus Christ Superstar.